Hello, everybody. How are we doing? We look good everywhere. All right. Hey, this is probably the most unprepared I've ever felt for a stream in my life. When I pivot from my normal time to a later time, it just my whole method of existing is all twisted to pieces. So I think we're fine. Um, you guys like my just chatting? I had to like quick pivot. I'm like, oh my god, I don't have a thing. I don't have a thing. So if I move just right, you can't even tell. You can't even tell. Anyways, welcome in everybody. Hello. We don't typically stream at this time. Yesterday, nope. Yesterday, it was yesterday. Yeah, I was supposed to go live and talk a little bit about my favorite games of 2025, and I had like a 3 hour sickness, something that I think my daughter had. And it was enough to throw me off Thursday night. I couldn't prepare for the stream for Friday. So I moved it to tonight. So thank you guys for being here. This is not my normal streaming time. That said, it's a good trial run. It's a good test to see if maybe we do some community streams at night. Maybe we start doing some stuff. We'll see. We'll see. You know, we'll figure it out. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go over my top games of 2025. Now, in order to do this, I got to throw down some ground rules, some caveats. I have a job. I have a family. I barely have a life. I have not played everything. There are some huge games that I have not touched yet. Games like Hades 2. That's one that I haven't touched, one that I want to touch. Other things. You'll find out when I go through my list, and you keep expecting the number one game to be like, oh, it's coming, and then it doesn't happen. That's why. That's why it didn't happen. I didn't play it. But if, as we go on, this is an open discussion. I invite you to talk smack to me. Tell me how wrong I am. But also do the flip side. Tell me how right I am. Tell me if there's a game on this list that you never heard of. Tell me about that. I want to know if you're introduced to anything new, because I didn't play every big game, but I did play some games that maybe are smaller, maybe flew under some people's radars. So, it's going to be a little haphazard. I'm going to be honest. This isn't going to be the best production I've ever put on. I'm not known for my production abilities, I don't think. So we're going to do our damnedest. We're going to see how this goes. And we're going to get started. Cool? We have 29 games to get through. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and list off whatever game we're on. Number 29, in this case, is a game called Dream Core. And I'm going to flip over to live, and we're going to watch the trailer. We're going to talk over the trailer. You guys let me know if you've played it and everything. I'm going to share my initial thoughts of the game. So what that means is when I finish a game, the first thing I typically do is I'll go to a spreadsheet, kind of figure in where I think it needs to be, and I'll talk about my immediate thoughts on the game. I don't revisit these things. So some of these things were written in January of last year. I have somewhat of a memory, but that's a long time to remember things. So I may kind of puzzle back, or I may even see like, I don't remember why I thought this. I don't remember why I said this. You got to give me the benefit of the doubt. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. I think we're good. You guys ready? Should we start off with game number 1? Sorry, that's not what we're doing. We're starting with game 29. This is a game called Dream Core. Let me know how volume is. I also messed with my audio settings a little bit, so let me know that you guys can hear everything and everything's good. It's not. Yes, it's not Blueprints. By the way, hello, Lone Wolf, Kate Cat, Timmy, Albaic just popped in. Hello, hello. This is your official ranking from 29 to 1. My official ranking from 29 to 1 of games that I played long enough to have formulated an opinion on. Right now we're watching. Volume is voluminous. Nice. That was the very short trailer for a game called Dreamcore. I'm going to pause that. I think what I'm going to do, we'll leave it on here. I'm going to switch over to just chatting every time we kind of alternate. Also, it is Saturday. This is a beer, if you couldn't tell. You can tell because it's in a green koozie and it's a green can. I'm just chewing on the top of a can. That's all I'm doing. Don't worry about it. But we're gonna have a couple bevies tonight, if that's all right. So Dreamcore. Let me share my initial thoughts about the game Dreamcore. This is a game that I did not stream. None of you saw me play it. This was the bottom of my list. Wow. That alert was loud. Did you guys hear that alert? Did that come through? I think it did. It came through loud on my end. I might have to remedy that, but thank you, Kate. My initial thoughts on Dreamcore. This is right after I finished playing. So there are frustration platformers, there are tough as nails roguelites, and here we have an anger-inducing walking sim. I love horror games, and this is advertised as such, just without any threats or scares. It's atmospheric, yes, but when you tell me there's nothing to be scared of, which they do in the Steam description, I'm not going to go into it fearful. So it also launched with 40% of the game available. That's weird to me, and we can talk more about that. So Dreamcore is one of those liminal games. I don't know if everybody knows what a liminal game is. To me, they're extremely fascinating. And in fact, maybe while we're talking, we'll just restart the trailer again. So you guys can kind of see. We'll just play it a couple times. I don't know. We're going to spend an infinite amount of time on all these, but we'll figure it out as we go. So it's a liminal game. It's got a really retro aesthetic and vibe. It's got the super what is that? The filter, the film grain. That's what I'm talking about. I think like aesthetically, these games are so cool looking. I think that they are just like they just. I feel like there's such potential there, but I have yet to see one that does anything with that potential. I thought Dreamcore might be it. I thought Dreamcore might introduce something that sucked me in more. But that's not what happened. I ended up being incredibly bored. I ended up just the outside area, the neighborhood area. I wandered aimlessly for so long, and I never ever, even when I did figure it out, I was just like, I was relieved, but I wasn't like, there wasn't any beneficial payoff to me. And then the part that I said about it only launching with 40% of the game, it wasn't an early access release. It was the full release. And it said that there's 3 maps coming. There were only 2 maps available. It was just very, it just felt hollow in a way that just was really off-putting. So, what's up, Pyro? Welcome in. 14 minutes late. Looks like it's Dreamcore is your worst game of 2025. Dreamcore. It's tough to say that because the reason I don't like to say that is because there are games that I have tried and knew that they weren't going to be a fit for me and bounced off of. So Dreamcore is the worst game that intrigued me to play it long enough to formulate an opinion of it, which just ended up being not super positive. Okay? How's that work? I don't know. Is that all right? Is that all right? Okay. That was number 29, Dreamcore. We're going to move on. And when we do move on, I'm going to switch over to chatting. So it's a little bit of a, to see all my YouTubing as we go. Our 28th game on the list. This is messy. This is messy. I wish I had 6 more monitors. 6 more monitors would make this easy. By the way, if I had to give a score to something, which I barely want to do, this was the scores that I assigned it were more of like an internal score of like what I thought and then how I can compare other games to it with just a number. So it's kind of gross. I gave Dream Core a 5. 5. Okay. Anything less than a 5, I'm probably not playing. I'm probably not finishing. Probably not worth my time. Right. So worst game with 10 plus hours of playtime. Ooh, 10 is high. 10 is probably high. I don't know if we're going to get to 10 hours with that game, but I did play long enough to get really, really lost in a city area that not lost, just wandering aimlessly. Our 28th game is a game that I think I streamed it. That's one thing I have to like remind myself going forward, because I did not stream for the first quarter of the year, first third of the year. So some of these games kind of you guys were there every step of the way with me, and some games I experienced solely by myself. But number 28 is a game called Post Trauma. Post Trauma. Let's do this one and we'll swap over. This is the trailer for Post Trauma.
It's time.
And again, we're gonna be here all night if I just let that stuff, if I don't talk over these things. So I'm gonna turn the trailers down a little bit.
Where is this? Well,
You're in the right place.
All right.
You won't like what you'll find.
So my initial thoughts on Post Trauma. That's fair, Pyro. It served up some interesting environments with a school and a hospital being kind of the highlights. Everywhere else wasn't that special. The game had uniquely terrible combat. I said this. These are my words. I don't remember them, but I said them. And the voice acting and writing was pretty awful. So those are the things that I held against it, and it must have been pretty bad because I also gave this one a 5. This one is on the same tier as Dream Core. Post Trauma. That is a game that I streamed because I remember having like a weird obsession with the main character, who I forgot his name, but he's the guy in the trailer. Let's run the trailer again. But it's a third person survival horror game. That guy, yeah, that guy's awesome. He's like a train conductor or something. Anton? No, I can't remember his name. But this one, I should go back and just confirm whether or not I played this on stream. I think I played this one on stream. I can't remember. This game, again, it had potential, but it ended up like, look at that monster design. That one specifically was just,
You think you
I
can
don't know.
escape what you have done?
This one's tough to recall back specifically, but I do remember that it was one of those that when it was over, I was glad. I was happy it was done. It had some strangeness to it. Like I said, I do remember the combat being. You guys remember Silent Hill F? I complained a little bit about the combat in that. Post Trauma beats it in terms of badness, bad combat. Again, apologies. I didn't return to any of these, so I'm kind of gathering thoughts off of what Sleep Awake would have been a couple of months ago. So best I can do off the top of me melon. Okay, let's flip over to our game number 27. This one, most of you will recognize if you've been in the channel for the last couple weeks. Game number 27 is another survival horror game. One that I think I liked less than a lot of people. But I'm curious, for you guys that were here, I want to hear your opinion on Sleep Awake. Tell me what you think about Sleep Awake. We just finished it a little bit ago. The full playthrough is up on YouTube if you want to check it out. But this was my game number 27. But I will say it is a good ways ahead in terms of the rating that I gave it. We went from a 5. I gave Sleep Awake a 6.25. And my thoughts on it as we went through it was... Now, again, I stream games, so I don't always catch the stories. But the first thing that stood out to me was this whole story was pretty nonsensical throughout. I had a real hard time following the thread. Hard to follow the story, and while there were a few elements that did make sense, the true motivations behind why things were happening were really hard for me to suss out. I really didn't understand the motivations of the big bad that we ended up seeing. I just really whiffed on that. One of the standout things, one of the things that really impressed me were some of the visual sequences that they had. Not specifically in-game moments. We'll restart that again. But like just, or not gameplay moments, but some of the live action, the FMV stuff they had, like kind of that stuff right there. Really abstract, really strange. Again, I don't think it added much overall to the game, other than like moments of just kind of an odd eye candy of sorts. The other thing that held it back for me, which admittedly it became less noticeable as we went on, but as a PS5 game, there was no option to play it at 60 FPS. And I'm a spoiled brat, and boy, I really need 60 FPS if we're gonna do this thing. You know, like I have a hard time going from 60 back to 30. It's just a tough ask. So it was pretty jarring, and it's just weird. It's weird this far into the PS5 generation to not even have an option for performance or graphics or anything like that. It was just flat 30, and I couldn't change it. So strange. Maybe coming in a patch. Don't know. But have to call it as I saw it, and that's how I saw it. How are we doing? Have I blown anything yet? Anybody who's played some of these games, has anybody been like, wait, this guy has no idea what he's talking about? If it hasn't happened yet, it will. Don't worry. It will. It's coming. It's coming. I just gotta refresh quick. That is a strange effect. That is a weird effect. It's my face behind my face. Interesting. Bark disagrees. Well, that's to be expected. All right. Let's move on to game number 26. Sorry. Yes. No, it is 26. This is a game. I'm actually a little surprised that it ended up this low. I don't really know why, but it was one of the first games I played when I came back to streaming. And it's one that, again, I'm fairly certain I played it in front of you guys. There was a lot of reading. I don't know how engaged the community would have been in it because of the type of game that it is, but I'm still glad that I played it. It was one that I gave a 6.5 to. And it is Centum. I have to see if anybody... Oh, I should probably look it up first. Hold, please. Centum had some... well, hold on. Actually, official launch trailer. There it is. Centum. While initially very intriguing in the first two sections of the game, the third section dragged the experience down a little bit. The pace became entirely too slow, and the multiple characters made following along a real challenge. Just trying to think back to this. I don't know if that's... I don't remember exactly what my problem was. There were some grammatical errors that threw me off, which that seems a bit nitpicky. They must have been pretty egregious. But it is a game that was reliant on its written narrative. So I guess maybe there were enough of it to really get under my skin a little bit. But yeah, this is the trailer for Centum. I remember this sequence. I think I like ripped my thumb off playing with this trap. Yeah, there it was. Oh, this game, definitely a weird one. It was a weird one. It was cool, but again, it had like some striking visuals, some really unique pixel art. The first two areas I remember being really intriguing and interesting, and then I do remember the third. I think the third area was that area outside, in like the broken fence or something, looking out into the city or something like that. I can't remember the specifics off the top of my head, but it started stronger than it finished. Trying to like have this trailer help jar some other memories for me. So, but yeah, that one is also long enough ago that I can't really why I can't shut up about Jesus. Well, no thanks, bud. Yeah, I wish I could give a couple more like specific memories of that game, but I think we just kind of blasted through it. It's one that I remember some of the characters and some of their looks and stuff, and I remember those being some of the most jarring elements of the game. But yeah. I'm convinced that most professional reviewers don't finish games or even get that far in them, so the better early, worse late, I'm sure it's going to be a pattern for a lot of creators. I would argue that most professional reviewers, okay, what do we coin as professional? I think we need to define professional. I have opinions on that. We've explored them in chat before, and I'd love to go down that rabbit hole. But I think we need to specify some stuff. Anyone that has their own TV show or program. TV show or program. What would that entail? Are you talking like people that write for, say, IGN or Game Informer as like in a review capacity? Or I guess I can't think of any TV shows or programs off the top of my head that would Conan, I guess, is the only thing. Pyro, you're in Europe, right? Or am I making that up? Maybe it's I'm curious. Flip back to just chatting here as we get our 25th game ready. Oh, G4, yeah. G4 is I think it was resurrected for a hot minute, but then I think it's dead again. I don't know what is the state of G4? It came back, but then I think it died again. I don't know for sure. Not trying to derail the conversation. Oh no, Pyro, we're doing it just chatting. We can derail all we want. Magazines would be a good example too. I'll disagree. There's only one magazine left, and that's Game Informer. And that I would push back on that. I happen to know some of the people that write for Game Informer, and that's just not how it is. Those people, they're some of the hardest workers in the industry to do what they do. Now they don't maybe get paid the best and have the best support system around them, but they are the ones that I know are top notch. Let's get into number 25. 25 you can actually find on my thumbnail. We are talking about, of course, Awida, Journey of Hope. This is a game that I gave a 6.52 as well, right alongside Centum. Did I not make that big? There we go. So this was a Metroidvania, pixel art, obviously super duper up my alley, and aesthetically very pleasing, very good. Enjoyed it very much from a visuals perspective. Here's what I wrote down: very short, and I never really loved the feel of the game from a control standpoint. Not being able to break the animation, I do remember that, led to tons of extra damage that just kind of at times felt cheap. There was also a charm system that I felt was strange, in that there were not only very few charms, but there were also multiple versions of the same charms available in different spots. I think I remember instances of that, finding there were moments where I was yearning for more charms to try to change up the gameplay a little bit. And at one point I found a charm that I already had, and I didn't know how it could it didn't feel like it just felt like I'd reached my limits of that system, you know? But the pixel art was of a very high quality, as you saw in the trailer, and the movement outside of combat was good. So exploration, platforming, stuff like that all felt tight. Apparently I was pretty confused by the ending, exactly why it ended the way it did. But I did find out that the game had multiple endings after I wrapped up. So a game that's maybe designed for multiple playthroughs, I rolled credits front to back in less than 3 hours. That's why it's kind of hard to reflect back on anything other than the visuals. We beat it in one stream. So we sat down and pounded it out and moved on with our lives. So that is a Wii to Journey of Hope. If you're looking for a short Metroidvania and you like pixel art, then that might be a good one for you. But yeah, 3 hours for a Metroidvania is that's just a weirdo guy. That's just a tiny little buddy. So, there you go. Give that one a shot if you feel so inclined. Let's see. Jumping back over to chat. Let's see. Number 24. For 24, this game would have been higher, but we didn't finish it. This is a game that I played on stream. I also had the developer stop by and help me with some of the issues, some of the navigation issues that I was having. The game I'm talking about is Spindle. We're gonna pop right in and watch that trailer. Yeah. Spindle, where you play as a little death buddy. Top-down action RPG, pixel art again. Again, pixel art is listen, if I don't know what to play, I'm typically going to veer toward pixel art. It's just, it's just beautiful. It's gorgeous. I did find out recently that my son is not a fan of pixel art, and I died. Right there. I thought you finished Spindle. I didn't finish Spindle. No, I got to a point. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Spindle. Full of charm, great pixel art. The game was held back by its lack of direction. There were too many instances where I just wasn't clear on what was next, and it wasn't that there was something I wasn't understanding. It wasn't that there was something that some hint that I was missing. It just felt like at times completely directionless. Because when I found out some of the areas that I did need to go, instead of feeling like a sense of like, oh, that makes sense, I was left with a feeling of, why though? What is that? Why? You know? I remember we were near the end and I'd hit another one of those instances in a castle, and it was kind of like I just kind of threw my hands up, where I was just like, I can't do this again. I can't wander aimlessly to try to figure it out. So yeah, that's what it is. Developer joined you on stream. Well, he joined in chat. He popped in chat, Pyro. Yeah, he wasn't like, playing right alongside me or anything. So, by the way, if the lighting looks a little different, I do have a different lighting setup. I have my 2 lights that I had up here that were shining on me. They're now to the side, illuminating my green light. And I have the key light that y'all helped me purchase on Throne right there in front of me. So, can't even remember the last Pixel game I played. Oh, Mark Ruffalo. So I don't even know why we let him in. I don't even know why we let him in the door anymore. I don't even know. Does he have a key? I don't even understand how he gets in. It's just not. He's a mod, so he has a key. But should we take the key away? I don't know. Ridiculous. It's not the only time a dev showed up in chat. No, it's not. We have one coming up here in a little bit that a dev also popped in for. I didn't notice the lighting, but I did notice the Minnesota swag. Whoop, whoop. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, where's Chongo? Oh, is Chongo still in New York? That's too bad. He knows about the key. Oh, God. All right, let's move on to number 23. Number 23 is a game that I have fonder memories of. By the way, we're getting into the Spindle. By the way, Awida, I gave a 6.5. Spindle, I gave a 6.75. And like I said, that would have been higher if I just wouldn't have run into 1 or 2 more of those things that just stop me dead in my tracks with no direction, right? Spindle could have been better. But another game that could have been better. And another game that's pixel art. I guess we know what my 2025 was all about. But a game that's actually done really well from a YouTube standpoint post-stream. Stuff that a lot of people are popping into and checking out. So thank you if you're here because of it. But number 23 is a game called Guns of Fury. Probably up there as one of the best looking games of the year for me. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna turn this up just a little bit on my end. This game reminded me a lot of a game that came out on PlayStation 4, I think at launch, called Mercenary Kings. I loved Mercenary Kings. The game doesn't play quite like that, but it does have the side-scrolling, the shooter action. But let me tell you what I thought as I ended my playthrough. It does look a lot like Metal Slug. It really does. Yes. I know, Pyro. That's maybe that's a good point. As we're like rattling off. Oh man, I love pixel art. Love pixel art. Bottom of my list. Bottom of my list. Bottom of my list. Bottom of my list. Yeah. There's something there, Pyro. You keep track of this stuff. We're gonna see where we end up. Guns of Fury. This game was so close to being really special. The pixel art was on point, as you see from the trailer. Big, glorious explosions and all that good stuff. The destruction was impressive and fun, and the power-ups were plentiful. Oh, here we go. Running theme, the last 2 games. I'm going to start that over again because we got a lot to talk about. I got stuck way too often due to a map that was incredibly unhelpful. A Metroidvania with a bad map is a bad Metroidvania, as far as I'm concerned. That's such a key component, and there was nothing to differentiate different areas. I don't know what's worse. It's obviously the map that they used in Guns of Fury, because I was just talking about Constance, which will be coming up later in the list. That also had a map that I was not a fan of, but that game had enough other things going for it that it remedied that. So, our Charlie just popped? Is she okay? That sounds bad. That sounds like a bad thing. Timmy's Charlie's been ripping the nastiest parts. I don't even know what's going on up there in chat. Anyways, the aimless wandering was nothing more than a waste of time because there was no leveling to speak of. That's true. Yes, this game does not have any sort of leveling system. So there was literally no reward to finding your next location. There was no benefit to it. You might get some money and stuff, but at some point, I think I remember having more money than I needed. Let's see. And that didn't pay off in any capacity when you had to rehash the same areas over and over and over and over again. They also had a fast travel system that I found relatively pointless because it took you to destined spots. I remember the map was actually relatively large, but the navigation and the ability to move to where you wanted to be, it just wasn't. It took too much effort, especially when it came time to clean up. It just felt like it was such just a trog, like getting places. I don't know what a trog is, by the way, but if we want to start using that to talk about things that suck, I think we just kick it off now. When things suck, you refer to it as being a trog. Let's see. I did eventually finish it, but turned into an absolute chore trying to track down the specific items I needed to progress. I remember specifically the left medallion piece. I spent, I think at one point, almost an entire stream, maybe one entire stream, looking for just the left medallion. And that kills me as somebody who likes to kind of not burn through games, but always feel like I'm progressing. When I start to feel like I'm not progressing and really being held back, that's going to affect my final thoughts. So again, Guns of Fury, I gave a 6.75, but again, it was so close. If a couple of tweaks to the navigation, a couple of things to just allow more visibility into where to go next and what to do next, that would be nice. I like it. Do it. Yes. Half credit though, Pyro. Come on. Give me what's fair. Okay. The next game on my list is a game that I did not stream. And it does move from a 6.75. We are up to a 7 territory. So now the rest of these, and I shouldn't say the rest. I don't feel like the ones that I've talked about are necessarily bad games. They just might not have hit me at the right time. Or one or two specific things held them back. But there was still enough there, except Dreamcore, there was still enough there to make me, I still consider it a pretty good game, pretty good experience. Getting into the 7s, these are games that maybe I start recommending. Like if you have some time, check these games out. Let me get the trailer set up here. We're on, Pyro, we are on number 22. And we are looking at a game called Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3. And this is one that I would recommend. Launch trailer? Let's do launch trailer. Just because of how uniquely bonkers and off the wall it is. So it is a match 3 game. Okay. This is actually a game by Strange Scaffold as well. If you guys don't know Strange Scaffold, they're known for putting out half a dozen games a year of varying genres and types and stuff. But let me tell you a little bit about Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3 post finishing it. Fun game with a novel approach to match 3 gameplay. It is definitely the most interesting match 3 game I've played. But my issues were that completion requires following as many paths through the dialogue as possible. I found that really hard to track as I moved forward. I actually couldn't finish the game because I couldn't figure out what dialogue choices I was missing to progress beyond certain points. So this is the game I didn't finish. The way the game works, I remember seeing you were playing this. I think you, Bark, I think you messaged me when I was playing. He was like, what are you doing with your life? It's fair. It was a fair question. It was a fair question at the time. It's a fair question now. But no, this game was actually like really cool. The way it works is you choose your location on the map after you do the fights and stuff. You choose where to go next, and you have a dialogue. And that dialogue decides where you go next, what you do next. The point of the game is to return to past moments and explore those different branches. I think the concept was you're a game developer in the game. You're a developer who's in the game fixing the bugs. And in order to fix the bugs, you have to explore all of the directions possible to you. And then you solve these issues with match 3 gameplay. And it was funny and it was well written, and there was a lot of like standout moments and things like that. But when the core of the game had me going back to analyze old discussions and things like that, I found myself like, not because of how many conversations there are, I'm like, I can't remember how I answered this. So I'd answer it again, and I'd end up I would answer it the same way I did before, and I'd end up in the same room I was already in, and have to like, okay, cycle through it, and then try to go back again. It didn't feel like there was a good way to track your former progression and the progression that you should follow going forward. But still, a really novel approach to a game, utilizing a mechanic that I never thought would be more interesting than Bejeweled. But it's pretty good stuff. So that was Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3. And by the way, there is a Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 1 and 2, I guess. I haven't played those. Maybe that would have helped. I have no idea. But this is just the one that I had heard the most about, so I wanted to check it out. All right, moving from 7 territory, we're going to be stuck in the 7.25s now for a little bit. But let's flip over here. We're going to do number 21, and then we're going to take a short break. Creepy Rednork. You should need a spreadsheet to play a game? Right. Well, depends on what you're saying. To play a game, no, you shouldn't. But to decide what game to play, yes, you should. And that is funny. Jack actually has a demo that he has called Spreadsheets and something, and all it is typing in things on a spreadsheet, and he's like, "This is great. It's the game he keeps returning to." Whatever, bud. You know, dude loves. I do love spreadsheets. It's weird. I should get spreadsheet. Oh my god. You know what I should get? No, Pyro. Let's patent this one. Ready? Spreadsheets. Spreadsheets. When you snuggle up in bed and you pull the sheets up, you're pulling up spreadsheets. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Listen, we did it. We did it. Shut it down. Shut it down. We did. This is the most excited I've been about an idea I've had in a long time. We're done. Yeah. Better get a cut. You better. Bark, you did get me there. I gotta talk to Kate. Kate, what's the deal? Can I do that? Can I patent and make spreadsheets? God damn. There's so much potential. Stupid shit like that sounds like mad. Anyways, sorry, let's continue. Did nobody steal that idea? That's very, listen, it's this video proof. It happened here first. Okay, let's move on to number 21 and the final game before we take our first break. I should probably check on I got my spreadsheet open over here. I just got to make sure the house nothing's burning down on the other side of things. Looks good. That looks good. Everybody's okay. All right, cool. Okay. Our 21st game on the list be a long ass stream. It is gonna be a bit. It is. Well, we're good. We're good. 20 left. We'll be done by 8:30, 9 o'clock, I think. It's all right. That's all right. Let's see.
It seems nothing can stop
Our game number 21 is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Now, for people that played this game, and a lot of the people that I listen to in podcasts and things like that, she's funny. Oh, man. I think this game is going to end up being lower on my list than where a lot of people might end up putting it. Just outside the top 20. This is number 21 for me. And I can't really remember why it's this low, so let's find out together. By the way, the games that are this low, I would view these games as less a knock against their quality and more of a compliment to the games that are still to come. I just feel like this was a really strong year for games. And like I said, there's so many that I didn't get to this year, which is to the benefit of like a Shinobi, which I admittedly feels kind of low. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where we end up with everything else. But Shinobi has a gorgeous hand-drawn art style with satisfying combat mechanics and fun, intricate level design. Initially, I was convinced I'd 100% the game, but realized the later levels really don't do the imprecise platforming any favors. Yes, okay, cool. I thought maybe I contradicted myself, but I called out the gorgeous hand-drawn art style, the satisfying combat, and the intricate level design. The imprecise platforming is one of those things. I do remember that. Also experienced map bugs that made returning to areas for cleanup even more frustrating. Yes, that was also that was true. So again, less than knock against the actual moment-to-moment gameplay, except some of the imprecise. I remember the platforming issues that I ran into. Oh hey, it's me. Should we do my vertical stream as well? Don't tell that one chatter who loves this game. He hasn't been back since we finished it. Wait, who was that? Who would that have been? Remind me. Am I big on Google Sheets or I've got Google Sheets. Google Sheets is my Google Sheets. I can just access from anywhere. So Google Sheets is just my ish. So, Shinobi, yeah. There were some of the challenges that I had with that game. And I was reminded of it when I was playing Constance. And again, I'm just pulling Constance out because it's the most recent Metroidvania with 2D platforming that I played. So Constance had some challenging platforming, but every time I failed in Constance, it always felt like that was my fault. I did that. I've got to do this better. I was pushing these buttons in the wrong order. I that's just really tight. I just have to get my timing down. That was the kind of feedback I always had. In Shinobi, there were dozens of times that I did something that I felt like it should have worked and it just didn't. And that was enough to hold me back. I know, right? Yes, my algorithm knows me. You like to watch yourself, you freak. And then yeah, so Shinobi, there were definitely instances where it just felt like the platforming was off. There were just things that wouldn't work. You blamed your control. I did. Hey, what's up, naked? You what? You peed on the pie chair? High five. Oh, give me a good high five. Everybody, let's get some hype in the chat. She peed on the potty chair. I did blame my controller a little bit. I do think I had a little drift happening though. That's true. But still, even with that, I still felt like I had everything was attainable. Hi. Get your finger out of your nose. You want to say hi to everybody? You don't have a shirt on you. Go get some pajamas on, then you come say hi. Didn't someone beg you to play Shinobi? Oh, did Silvati begged me to play it, right? Wasn't he a big Shinobi? Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I liked it well enough. The other thing was yeah, there were map bugs. I went back to try to clean up some things. Get out of here, you. I went back to try to clean up some things, and there were literal icons there telling me to pick up a thing that I'd missed, but I'd already picked it up. So there was actual map bugs, which in a game that begs for completion, it's something that Metroidvanias are the one thing that I really feel like I do feel that completionist edge. To have that was just like have that be broken really sucked. Oh, okay.
She has no jammies.
No jammies. You want to come say hi now? Yeah. You just wear Mama's sweatshirt.
Hi. Hi.
Just go, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you getting ready for bed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, not yet. You still got time.
Go and watch Frozen.
You can go watch Frozen. You can watch Elsa.
Hi, I want Elsa.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch Elsa. Okay, let me get you down. All right. Give him a big wave.
New kisses.
Perfect. All right. So that's Shinobi.
Yeah.
She is. She's. But the problem is she knows it. She knows she's cute, and she gets away with shit. She is growing up too fast. I know. Although I wouldn't mind pushing her a little bit further just to get her out of daycare, so we have to stop paying for it. If she could just get to kindergarten and stop, that'd be good. That would be. Oh, also diapers. She's so close. But she's just not there yet. Okay, everybody. Let's continue in just a couple minutes. I am going to take a quick break. I'll be back in about 3 minutes. We're gonna get rid of our pre-roll and all that good stuff. So hang tight. Cool. Okay, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience. That served me good for a couple of reasons. First, it was hotter than sin in here because it always is, especially at the end of the day. So I dropped the sweatshirt, turned on the fan, and grabbed another beer, and then realized that I got a sampler of Deschutes. Has anybody had Deschutes beers before? Well, this sampler has one particularly potable that I decided to start with, and they're the 9%ers. So hang in there, everybody. It's also like the first beverage I've had in like 3 weeks. And the last I'll have, well, that's not true. Last I'll have for a couple of weeks, and then those will be the last I have until vacation. Jug. I might die. Hydrate. Wowzers, Timmy. That feels loud. I think I might have to let me check this quick. Okay. How has the audio been for like trailers and music? Is everything okay? I'm trying to step up my audio game. We've been kind of Frankensteining it for quite some time. I'm trying to sort it out now. And I think we made some good changes. You might not notice them. And if you do notice them, that's probably bad. I notice them, but it's better for me because I now hear more accurately to what you guys hear. I think, in theory. So, I don't know. We'll see. But you guys said that part isn't loud. That's insanely loud to me, so I'll fix that at some point. Not right now. By the way, I never said this in the beginning. Timmy and Kate, congratulations on your 60 stream streak. Your support is admired and appreciated. Thank you. Especially since I think I've only had about 45 streams since that thing kicked in. There was that moment where I kept dropping streams and having to restart, and you guys were still there. And Albaic reached 5 in a row. Again, thank you. That is, again, it's not an easy thing to do, to come into chats. I don't know if you guys realize how appreciative I am of you being able to take some time to pop in and say hello. It does mean the world to me. So thank you. I wish I had something that notified me when these go. They should sit in the Twitch activity, and I kind of miss them because they don't have any alerts with them. But I love that they added that. I really do. YouTube doesn't allow me to streak. That's okay. It's against TOS. It took you an hour to appreciate us? No, I don't know. Okay, well, that's a good point. That's a point. If I did appreciate you, I would have said it right away. You're right. That's fair. That's fair criticism. Hey, let's talk about game number 20, which I guess I'm on live. So, spoilers, it's AI Limit. This is a game that I played on my own as well. This is a Souls-like, and I liked it. This is also 7.25 territory. A solid Souls-like with tight, concise combat. The story was so-so. The environments were a bit mid, but the progression and challenge were just right. Very reminiscent of Code Vein from a couple years back. I liked this game. I did. This was a Souls-like that kept my attention. The things it did right, it did very well. Like I said, nothing earth-shattering, nothing that redefines the genre or anything in that regard, but I had a good time playing it. I should probably throw in the caveat that it was a game that I decided from the jump that I was going to, which I do this with Souls-likes that I play offline, which are most of them. I did play with a guide the whole way through. One of my favorite elements of Souls-likes is the level design and just seeing what's all out there, and AI Limit is no exception. It was fun to be able to like appreciate the effort that goes into some of the level design to let me see things that I might have completely whiffed on. I don't like whiffing on things that are there if I can avoid it. So that was pretty rad to see. So Pretty excited about that. AI Limit kicks off our number 20. Does anybody who's popped in, does anybody need a recap of our first 9 games? I guess I could go one more and then say, we'll just, here we go. 29 through 20. We'll do that real quick. 29, Dream Core. 28, Post Trauma. 27, Sleep Awake. 26, Centum. 25, Oita, Journey of Hope. 24, Spindle. 23, Guns of Fury. 22, Creepy, Redneck, Dinosaur, Mansion 3. 21, Shinobi, Art of Vengeance. And number 20, AI Limit, the one we just covered. Let's move in to number 19. Number 19, if you would have told me that this would have been 19 on my list when we started, I would have been, I would have doubted that. I would have thought that this would be, this would have ended up being probably a top 10 game for me. Again, before playing it, before anything, but I just love this series so much, this franchise up to this point. Well, okay, hold on. That sounds wrong. I still love it. I still enjoy it. I had a good time with the game. Again, 7.25. That's good. That's good. Okay? But number 19 is Doom, The Dark Ages. Official trailer 1, 4K, coming 2025. What's the nearest one? Let's do that one. There you go. This was a good dude. This is what I wrote after finishing it. This was a good Doom game that I felt that felt a bit bloated by the end of the experience. I wasn't crazy about the ancient yet technologically advanced theme they were going for, and the ending was unnecessarily long. It did linger. The Doom gameplay, though, will always be stellar, even with some of the tweaks to the mechanics having me feel 50-50 on. I think that was the shield thing specifically. I should have been more specific there. This is probably my least favorite of the Doom reboots. But Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal I found to be incredible video games. There's just they took a swing with the Dark Ages that I can appreciate, but didn't really land with me. I think I don't know what you do with Doom next. I don't have any idea what that looks like. And again, I this was a good game. This is not something that I was disappointed in. It just, I don't know. It just didn't feel the same as the other Dooms that are out there. So the other Dooms that have been out since 2016. Doom was lower for me personally than that. I played a lot less new games than you did, though. Did you spent a lot of time in backlogs and stuff? They've done 3 Doom reboots already. Well, they've rebooted the franchise. 2016 was a true Doom reboot. Doom Eternal was a follow-up to the Doom 2016 game, and now Doom: The Dark Ages was a prequel to Doom 2016. So, yeah. You think it should be quietly retired? Yeah, it's tough. I have a tough time. Actually, dragon sequences, didn't love those. Didn't care for those that much. Could have done without those sequences. But like the boots on the ground, fighting as the Doomslayer, always will feel so good. Dark Ages Bridges 2016 and Doom 64. That's right. We did talk about that. Yeah. But like finding the Cthulhu buddy and stuff, like it had like some pretty sweet moments. Like, again, it was still super good. Again, having a number 19, it barely made my top 20 of the year, which again speaks volumes to how good this year was. That it feels low, and I feel like I need to apologize for it. But I still liked it. I still liked it a lot. It had to end up somewhere on the list, which makes me so much more excited for the rest of the list that we have coming up. Like, let me show you. Let me show you. Let's flip back over to chatting. We're gonna get ready for game number 18. This game is a horror game. I don't know why I said it like that. Probably didn't need to. Probably should never do that again. It is one that I played on stream. It took 2 streams, maybe? Something like that. It is a game called Routine. This was a very good game that I would not have probably completed without chat. Specifically, the people that came in that knew the game very well and were able to help me solve some of the mysteries, some of the puzzles in the game. Where are we on the list? This is number 18. At times, the game was it was opaque to a fault, and that came from having no map of any sorts, and a lack of real proper task explanations. You would have a list of tasks to accomplish, but some of the moment-to-moment things, I just had a hard time kind of sorting out. There was no map, but I think in hindsight, while there wasn't a map, the environments, the more you aimlessly kind of like, you kind of panic wandered, the more you did that, the more you came more intimately aware of your surroundings. I don't necessarily think that the lack of a map was a detriment. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to, like, what would it be like with a map? Well, I have no idea because I wasn't there for it. So, it feels like I have like a bruise here, or is that just like my eyelash continued? Oh, Alpha. Wow. Thank you for the resub. All these months, and is this an After Dark stream on the weekend? It is. It is. Cheers, buddy. Cheers. Thank you for that resub. Appreciate you, bud. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Let's see. I still had a really good time though, and had some genuine jumps that got me good. A couple good clips came from that game. A couple good clips. So yeah, we had fun with the routine. Let's see. Okay, moving on to number 17. This game is one that I did not play on stream. I'm trying to think. No, we're not. You might. You can, but no, we're not. I'm trying to think if I played. No, I don't think I played the original version of this game. That'll make sense in a second. I don't think I played the original, the base game. That's what I'll say. It's the base game because number 17 is actually a DLC. And it is DLC for a game called Still Wakes the Deep. The DLC is called Siren's Rest. And here is the launch trailer for Siren's Rest. I liked this game more than anybody else that I heard talk about it. I don't know what that's about. I'm not sure why that is. I really like Still Wakes the Deep. I thought that was a cool game. I thought the setting was very unique and like basically being on a slowly dilapidating oil rig. Being able to return in Siren's Rest was cool. So I guess heads up for anybody who hasn't played Still Wakes the Deep. You should, but I don't want to completely convey spoilers here, but spoilers. This game starts as kind of a documentary of what went wrong Documentary is a flexible term in this instance, but the core of this is you're returning to the oil rig several years later to research and investigate what happened, what went wrong, and you do this as a completely new set of people. But that, in and of itself, to me, created such a such an interesting, just such an interesting approach to what this could be. Let me just read kind of what I have here. It started almost as a okay, I read that part. Okay, it started almost as a documentary type where the people involved were oblivious to the catastrophe. As the game went on, I thought it did a good job of upping the tension and terror. I think the biggest knock against it was that there were times that it was very difficult to discern the path forward. That doesn't surprise me. For an underwater exploration game, big areas, it's easy to get twisted and turned around. By the way, Eternal Life of Goldman, who's excited for that game? I just saw that trailer. That game looks amazing. I can't wait to start it. It's over. It's over, Alpha. You're okay, buddy. You're okay. Don't you even. Are you going through your spreadsheet? I am. These are my top 29 games of the year that I played. Looks nothing like Return of the Obra Dinn, and yet, had there been zero visuals, I would have thought it as Return of Obra Dinn, but underwater. Really? Interesting. Underwater gives you anxiety? Oh, okay. I'll let you know if anything else comes up. I don't know if we have anything. I think you're in the clear. I think you're in the clear from here on out. But if you have played Still Wakes the Deep, and you have any interest in returning to that, Siren's Rest I thought was a very solid DLC. By the way, this one jumps from 7.25 to 7.5. We're in the 7.5 territory now. We're only staying here for a second because now we're going to 7.75. So, let me flip around here, make some changes. Do. Number 16. Alpha, would you, since you just popped in here a second ago, would you like a recap up to this point? I can do it after the next game, if you would like. Number 16 is Chronos, The New Dawn. This game was kind of badass. 775. Clearly, this was top of mind when I was writing this. The final boss was a frustrating mess of a time. He was. He sucked. He could teleport. He could move faster than humanly possible in this game, and it wasn't fair. Anyways, but the game leading up to it was engaging with unique environments, good combat once you got the hang of charge shots, and a story that had me intrigued but left me with a bit of confusion at the end. I might have written that before we watched some of the endings. I think I have a good idea of everything now. But this was a game that it was much beefier than I was anticipating. It was a big one. There was a lot. And it maybe in hindsight, maybe it went on a little bit long. I guess I don't need, like, I think this game took me like 20 hours. I don't know if I need 20-hour survival horror experiences.
The location must go on.
But what was there, I found interesting. I found intriguing. I tend to. This is a difficult thing to like describe, but when games venture into anomaly territory, things like this were like floating blocks and then when it gets into stuff like that, I guess anomaly territory is the best way that I can describe it. I don't know. I tend to become more detached I'm not sure what it is about anomalies specifically, or that kind of direction. But I think not to the game's necessarily like it's not its fault, but it because they ventured into that, I became a little bit less interested. But that was just one piece of it. The survival horror mechanic, the enemies, the areas that you did explore, most of them that didn't deal with that kind of stuff, I found like super intriguing. But there were some areas where it was, the magnetic boots where you would jump across large expanses and stuff, and like the floating, like those environments, like those just don't do anything for me. I don't like them. I don't enjoy them. Yeah. You're an anomaly. I am an anomaly. That's fair. That's fair. If there's one, I mean, we talked about that this week. See most of them? Perfect. Let's see. Silent Hill F is ending up much higher than I expected. Interesting. But you're our anomaly. Brings a tear to my eye. All right, so let's move in to number 15. Silent Hill F. There you go. There you go, Lone Wolf. Ask and you shall receive. Number 15 is Silent Hill F. A game.
Enough already! Hinako, your father.
It also finished with a 7.75, which is exactly where I put Chronos, and I feel in hindsight, I feel like that is spot on. That's about right. It's a very solid Silent Hill game. Admittedly, and this might be what threw you off, Lone Wolf, I did not love it initially. The opening, I remember, you guys remember the first day? The first day where I was like, ugh, I don't think I enjoy this at all.
I see. For today,
But
this will be our little secret.
I eventually came around on it. And I enjoyed it quite a bit compared to my initial reactions. There were still some things that held it back from being great, mainly an incomplete story that required multiple playthroughs. I am going to hold that against the game. And we can talk more about that if you'd like. But I loved the basis for the story, and I wanted to see how it actually ended. But 3 playthroughs at a minimum to get there, that's just, even if you cut out large chunks of the game and give the ability to the player to kind of buzz through, there's still a lot of things that you have to rehash and redo, and that's just never going to be something that I want to do. It's just not that's not anything that I'm interested in. So it's tough to hold it against a game, but as a gamer that wants to experience as much as I can in a single playthrough, to require me to play an additional 1 or 2 playthroughs, and I caved a little bit. I did cave a little bit. We got a second ending. Granted, it was kind of the goof ending, but we got more than one. I have to like hold that against it. I do. Love the theme of this stream today. Thanks, Curse. This is something that I do every year, but I do it on Twitter and Blue Sky, and I'm not going to do that anymore because it's a lot of effort for very little payoff on those platforms, right? And I want to share this with the community more. I want to talk more about this, so with you guys. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, Curse. I appreciate that, and thank you for popping in. I hope you're doing well. Give a shout out to Curse, please. I appreciate it. I have missed a couple of your streams. I do. Tomorrow night, be where Curse is. Do that. I think you need to play it 3 times, which is overkill. Yeah, it is. There's 5 endings, and again, you can kind of scooch through the game faster in the other 2, but I don't want to do that. I love having the options to explore, explore things that are finding secret endings or finding things that maybe explain chunks of it, but like to require it to see the canon ending for the game, that's something I can't get behind. For me, some people love it, some people adore it, but you know, there are people that only play X number of games a year, or they one or two, or Silent Hill is extremely their shit, and they're into that, and they don't mind being into that over and over again, and they want to see everything about it. I don't have time for that. I just don't. There's too many games. So I almost want to say I can't hold it against Silent Hill F, because that's the decision that they went with. It's a decision that doesn't cater to me personally. I don't think it's an incorrect decision. I don't think it's a wrong decision. It's a decision that worked for them. So, Garo in the community adores this game. Played it through, got all the endings, loved every second of it, wouldn't change a thing in the world, right? Perfect. That speaks to Garo, exquisitely, right? So I have to hold it against that just because it doesn't cater to me. If you don't mind that, play Silent Hill F 4 or 5 times. It'll be fun. You'll have a good time. Moving on. More replayable than watching Frozen for the 10,000th time? Let it go. Let it go. Okay, let's move on to number 14. This one might surprise some folks. Compared to what we've gone through, you know what? It surprised me. I have not played this game on stream. I'm glad I did not play this game on stream. This is a C-dub ass let's use a guide game. It is a game called Hell Is Us.
What the hell happened here?
I'm not done with this game.
Trapped in some twisted.
This is a caveat. We got a big asterisk next to this one.
I just want to wake up.
By the way, this is also 775. So this is right there with Silent Hill F and Chronos.
This war is
Lone Wolf, I'm feeling real good about that.
Why come
Feeling real good
back?
about that.
Anyone in my shoes would have done the same. Look at you.
Man, this is a tough game to talk about. Because I have a tough time sorting my own thoughts out about it. Spoilers trailer, goddamn. I haven't seen that part yet. I haven't watched a trailer for this game yet. Anyways, there isn't a game on this list that has more often convinced me that I'm closer to just setting it down and saying I'm good, to going the opposite direction and being like, this is awesome. It does this thing. I don't know what it is. It walks some sort of line that is. I'll find myself kind of wandering and meandering, and just being like, I don't know, it's just kind of, But then I'll find some stuff, and there'll be this location, and there'll be this locked door, and I'll find a way to get into it, and I got into it, and I searched, and I'm like, there's so much cool things that this game has hidden in it. There's a mythos. There's just this like in-game historical background, but like weird mythology that exists that is so intriguing and so engaging. Initially when I started it, I was like, I'm going to go as far in this game as I can without a guide. But again, like full disclosure, if I'm playing a game like this, I typically want a guide. But I knew that this one was part of like solving mysteries and really experiencing it. So I made it through like the first area fully with a guide and left to the next area. And when I left, I just had this incontrollable urge to just go check a guide, like go back, like what did I miss anything? And I didn't miss anything. But I got to the next area, and the next area was it felt massive. And I felt aimless, and I'm like, there's so many things. I cannot play this game this way. So I went and I decided, like, no, I'm gonna go with a guide going forward. I'm so glad that I did. Depending on how you want to play games, if your first time through Hell Is Us, if it's your first time and you want to see some absolute mysteries that are gonna melt your brain to try to solve, to get into areas, to unlock doors, to search for things, do that by all means, 100%. Not my thing. But this game has so much cool shit in it, and I don't know if a lot of people are talking about it. I think that it's an easy game to fall off of. Like I said, I've been so close to being like, I think I'm done. But then 10 minutes later, I'll be like, I am so in. I'm finishing this game 100%. It does. It has it has me just twisted. So I'm well over halfway. Nah, well over is maybe bold. But again, the areas that you visit, the environments, the neat little. I'm trying to compare some of the stuff that you come across reminds me of, Central American, like old, like Central American Aztecs and Mayan cultures, like hidden tombs and things like that you can come across and find, and it's just, but it also has like this Eastern European twist on it, and it's just it's so intriguing. I don't think there's a game like that. It deserves to be appreciated from that stance alone. The things that I hold against it, if I can even hold it against it, I'm playing on the easiest combat, because the combat does nothing for me. The combat is kind of dull and repetitive. It doesn't move the needle for me in the least. And honestly, that, and then I'm using a guide. Those are the two things to consider. I don't think it's a game that with more difficult combat makes it any better or worse or anything like that. It's just, I want to see what's going on. I want to check out those environments. I want to explore those locations. That's what I got going on. So, moving on. We spent a lot of time on that game. We'll get through this. 7:30? 7:30? Oh, yeah. We'll be fine by 9. We'll be fine. Number 13. A Vikings fan streaming during Packers-Bears playoff game made so much sense to me. Yeah, there was somebody who broke down our season, and they made a very, very good point that if there were 2 special teams plays throughout the season, I can't remember the specific ones, but I remembered them specifically. There were 2 specific special teams plays that if we wouldn't have messed it up, one of them was a fumble that cost us a game, and the other one was, I don't know, like we allowed like a 60-yard kickoff return or something after taking the lead or something. If those 2 plays don't happen, there's a good chance we have 2 more wins, and we are actually the number 1 seed in the NFC North. And I saw that, and I'm like, football, I'm done. Baseball, we're done. Everyone talk more so Chris has to stay up later. Listen, I'm here. Earlier, it was to be done by 8. Did I say that? Are you making that up? I didn't say that. I was starting at 6. I knew it wasn't going to be done in 2 hours. You out of your mind. Anyways. Number 13. Kingdoms of the Dump. This film has been modified. What did I click on? Is that? Oh, that's a fun little touch. I like that. Pixel art, everybody. Damn you and your... Oh, you love pixel art. Why is it always at the bottom of your list? Hey, see? Now we're scooching up. 13. This is good. This was fun. I enjoyed this game very much. But it was not perfect. This is, by the way, Hell Is Us was 7.75. Kingdoms of the Dump has entered 8 territory. And that, you know what, admittedly, that feels a bit high, but man, this game This game tugged on my heartstrings a little bit. It just tickled my nostalgia in a fun way. Such a surprisingly good classic JRPG throwback. Great story, satisfying combat, fun and unique characters, and a work that felt, just overall work that felt so well realized. And I say that I don't know the developer's background that well. You want CW exclusive footage of me playing the game? That is a lot of storage. I can barely keep enough space to keep my YouTube stuff going up. I don't know the background fully of all of the people involved with the making of this game. I know that they're literally working as janitors to help fund this game. Yes, Pyro, they were working as actual janitors. Which makes it all the more impressive that this was a 30-hour game, 30 to 40-hour game. Game made by real janitors. There you go. And it was intriguing and enticing throughout. The characters were fun. I don't remember that scene, but it wasn't perfect. Like I said, there was some of the things holding it back were some technical issues, especially in the later half of the game. The latter half of the game had some problems. Some textures that were just not aligned right. You could walk, and your character would look like they were standing on a hill, but they weren't actually. They were still on a level below it. So it's just things like that. But these are all things that can be patched out and fixed and resolved. And then I also put here, and I wish I would have been more specific, a few gameplay decisions that felt a bit more like oversights than planned execution. I don't know exactly what I was talking about with that specifically. Probably shouldn't have mentioned it then, but I don't know. I went back and I left a Steam review for this, which I've got to get better at doing. But in doing so, I read some of the Steam reviews, and it frustrated me. Yes, we should all hold games to a certain standard. We should. But at some point, it's okay to just make a little concession. To just, the latter half of the game had its problems. It had its issues. But it's not a personal attack on your character. It's why I don't like Steam reviews. I love leaving positive reviews, I'm not going to leave a negative review on Steam. I'm just not going to do it. Because I'm not going to spend my time playing a game that I'm not loving. Okay? And maybe that like colors my whole way of life, but there was a person who left a review very similar to what I just said. Who left it? They said negative, and they said it was one of the most disappointing games of the year because of that. And I'm like, if people understood the effort it takes, especially for a group like that, to make a game like this, pardon me, but give them a fucking break. I just relax. I don't understand where people can be so insulted by something that just needs a little work, just needs a little pick me up, little fix. We put so much of a well, not we specifically, but because PC gaming has become as big as it is. We put so much stock in these Steam reviews, and we let a bunch of goofballs who don't know the first thing about anything help decide the failure and success of games. And I don't know. I can't understand. I can't believe that this is the best way. It was triggering to read that because that person and I, the way that we shared our thoughts, we had the exact same complaints. And I'm over here saying, yes, this is my 13th best game of the year. Okay, it wasn't number 1, it wasn't number 2, but I still adored it. I loved it to pieces. And that person who might have shared that exact same opinion is like, this game ruined my fucking life, you know? It's like, that's the kind of stuff that just drives me nuts. Use it as a gauge, but don't use them as an absolute. Yeah, right. I mean, and that's just it. It's I don't know. It frustrates me. I did actually mention that Lone Wolf. I did. I hope the console players will get a chance to enjoy it as well. All right. On to number 12. Number 12 is one where we had, this is the one I was alluding to earlier when I think Pyro had mentioned, oh, you had a dev pop into chat. We sure did. And not only did we have a dev pop into chat, we also had some game testers pop into chat. And those game testers, those people they've become part of the community. And I'm so incredibly happy to have them here. They have been fantastic since they've been around. Camino Migate, and I hope I'm saying that right, and Stevie, who you see in chat from time to time. But they were game testers on Dreamed Away. And Nico, the developer, popped in and hung out for a while. Dreamed Away was fantastic. It's so good. Getting caught up on chat here quick.
And playing with my little sister Louise. I wish life would.
A lot of people have a hard time holding two things at once. Like a game can be really great and also need some work, but people then just pick their overwhelming feeling and that's what gets posted. Right, and that's I wish we could work on that. I wish we could. I don't. That's one of those things that I don't know. We're talking about Dreamed Away now. Let's move on. But that is something that I need. I really want to instill in Jack, like specifically, like, buddy, just look to the happy, like look to the good, like look to the good. If all else fails, just please do your best to look to the good, because there is so much good, but it's so easy to be negative, so simple. Let's see. Dreamed Away. I have played plenty of throwback JRPG-inspired games over the years, and they almost all lack the character and charm on display from Dreamed Away, and I believe that 100%. This game, from the kickoff, just oozed character. I loved it. The way that it was presented, the way that it was... we're going to restart this again. Just... There was something in the interactions between characters, something in the environments, something that just felt... It just felt more substantial than other games that have tried to emulate some of the older RPGs. Really a compliment to Nico. By the way, this is 8.25, so 8.25 is where we're at on this scale. They almost all lack the character and charm on display. Yes, the story had it did have a few slow points where it just felt like some of the action kind of like dropped off. But a big compliment to the Undertale like inspired combat that was constantly changing and evolving throughout the entire adventure. Like I actually haven't finished Undertale. I've made it a good ways in and then I've fallen off for whatever reason. This game intrigued me more than Undertale did. And that could come back to maybe some of the aesthetic choices as well. This uses a bit more of a refined pixel art look. Undertale is still a bit minimalist compared to this even. But with the combat kind of attached to the story that kind of belayed its cutesy aesthetic, because the story had some things, especially as you get into it, like some things are like, oh my god. Like that was a mature instance. That was something that I'm like, I don't think I want Jack to watch this part, just because you had to like kind of really process some emotions. But yes, game by Nicholas Pettin. Nico was the one who popped into chat and hung out with us for a little bit and helped me through actually a couple spots as well. But yes, that was Dreamed Away was fantastic. Another game 100% worth checking out. So, moving on to number 12. Number 12, we've got another survival horror game. This one, I'll be honest. This one feels a bit weird. Oh, sorry, number 11. Pyro. Thank you. Good call. This is number 11. Number 11, everybody. Calm down. Number 11 is a game called Karma: The Dark World. And I'm actually this one we played back during the summer. I'm a little surprised to see it this high. So I'm gonna also be watching the trailer just to remind myself of why I enjoyed it so much. But let's read this first. A well-produced horror game that presents a dystopian alternate history that covers some truly awful subject matter. The brain-diving interrogation concept presents some very interesting results with subjects and the interrogators. Some of the puzzly elements are a little convoluted for their own good. Looking at you, puzzle boxes. Well, remember those. But the story is well told and the characters are interesting. Okay, let me get caught up. Let me watch this trailer with you guys. Oh, okay. I'm having some memories.
I feel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I actually did forget some of this stuff. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. It's all coming back to me. I guess it, having it where it is on the list at number 11. I guess the fact that I'm having trouble remembering a little bit, maybe that feels a bit high. Maybe that could be criticized a bit. I mean, because it wasn't that long ago that I played it. It's probably 6 months ago. But the full playthrough should be on YouTube. Maybe I'll have to watch it and remind myself. Okay. I mean, shoot, this is a good trailer. Anyways, Pixel was really struggling there for a while with 3 in the bottom and then 9 in straight non-pixel games, but the duo RPGs help pixel. There you go. See, Pyro's keeping track of the score. Surprised to see this high also. Yeah, it's maybe this one could be manipulated a bit. I don't know. That's, yeah. You know what? Having that at 11, maybe that's a fair criticism. I don't know. Maybe that's high. I don't know. But if we compare it, let's compare it to the other survival horror games. So we got. I don't really consider Hell Is Us a survival horror game. It's got some spoopy elements, but Silent Hill F, Chronos: The New Dawn. I mean, it's a big jump. Like Chronos was at 16, Karma was at 11. So it's only a 5. It is 5 spots, but Chronos I'd rated as a 7.75. Karma I'd rated as an 8.25. So it's like that's a mind space thing right there. You know what? I think I stand by that. I think I do. I don't know why, but I think I do. I think Chronos is better than that and Silent Hill, but it fits my personal taste more. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, no, that's fair. I have a spreadsheet. Reminds me of a statement from a toy manufacturer where they said, for toy testing, it doesn't matter what people say about it, but which ones they keep coming back to and play with again. That's fair. Laughing Luna, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Feel free to join in our discussion. And if you'd like me to recap the first 18 games on my list, I'm happy to do so. You just let me know. Right now, the average pixel ranking is 19.4. Oh, well, that's okay. We got a ways to go. The average non-pixel ranking is 20.2. Oh, ooh, that's some sick math. I love where this is going. All right. Well, let's move on then. Let's get to number 10. Should we take our break? What's our? We got time. We'll do one more game and then we'll take our last break of the day. Well, probably our last break of the day. We'll see. Nerds. Shut your mouth. All right. Let's flip over to chat. All right. We are talking about game number 10. The continuation of a series. Or is it? Is it actually the prequel to a series? We are talking about Mafia, the Old Country. Be nice, Kate. I'm cool. Let's see. Mafia, the Old Country. More movie than game, but a really good movie. The gameplay wasn't anything that propelled the experience forward, but it also didn't hold it back. The storytelling is far away the strength of the game. That doesn't sound like a ringing endorsement, I'll be honest with you. But I will say that this game stuck with me. This game is a well-told story, and I really am not giving the gameplay its due in that statement. Yeah, it's nothing that's going to change the world, but it did keep things moving forward. You know, it had its pop and shoot thing. I remember sucking something real terrible at the driving. But I just really enjoyed stepping into this time, this environment in this time period. I thought I would hate it. Not hate it. That's not true. I wouldn't have started if I thought I would hate it. But I thought taking cars away and removing that element. Granted, they did have cars, but like, I honestly didn't know they were gonna have cars the way that they did. But I was thinking Mafia 3, like GTA, right? Like, you take away those elements, and I'm like, ugh, I don't know. But this was such a well-told story and so intriguing and engaging, and gorgeous. It was just a stunning game to look at and experience. Yeah, this was that was solid. That was a solid. And I feel good about that as a number 10 on my list. So, I think that is a great time to take our final break. Probably final. I have no idea. We'll see. Probably final. We're going to call it final. If pre-roll kicks in at the end, we'll deal with it then. But we're going to take our final break. I'm going to step away for about 3 minutes, and we will come back and enter our top 10 games of 2025 that I played. I feel like I need to put that caveat there. Some of you are going to be disappointed. We're like, "Where's this game?" I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I don't know. But we'll talk in just a second. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We are entering our top 10. Well, technically, we did 10. We're entering our 9 and higher. And you're right, Albic. I did have to grab another beer. They're delicious. Also, hey, I forgot to mention, I know what game we're playing on Tuesday. Monday will be Shin Megami Tensei. We're going to come back to that on Monday. Tuesday, we're going to play a game that could very well end up being game number 29 on next year's list. Or not. I don't know. I have no idea because this is a PlayStation game that released on a Saturday. What does that mean? When has that ever happened? We're going to play a game called Code Violet. We're going to chase down some dinosaurs. I don't know. Why not? I don't think I've ever seen a PlayStation exclusive release on a Saturday. So I'm intrigued. I mean, not Code Violet. Lone, have you seen it? I don't know anything about it other than you chase dinosaurs. I know it's the first release of the year, and I'm like, let's give it a shot. Let's see. Gotta kick 2026 off at some point. What are we waiting for? Is it bad? I have no idea if it's bad. Again, a PlayStation exclusive that releases on a Saturday is the biggest, boldest red flag I've ever experienced in my life. It's rough? Oh. Okay. Subject to change, but we'll see. Oh, man. Anyways. Let's move into number 9. Number 9 on our list is a game that we played. Let me flip over here. Game that we played on stream. One that you guys experienced right alongside me. And one that I had a very good time with. We are still in the 8.25 range, which is what Mafia the Old Country was. Another 8.25 is Rue Valley. A game that wears its Disco Elysium influences on its sleeve.
I'll never get out of here.
But
There is
no but. That's fine. That's good. That's great. Disco was great. Rue Valley is very, very good. I enjoy this game a lot. People that do like disco, I think if you're thirsty for something, Rue Valley is a solid fit. It just is really good. The time loop mechanic was really well implemented. There were a couple of instances where the game felt a bit, did feel maybe a bit bloated and dull. But I enjoyed experiencing each loop as thoroughly as I could. And I think the bloated and the dullness was not necessarily the game's fault. Or maybe it could be. I think it was me taking a little while to understand what the cadence of the game expected. What I as a player should be doing to experience things. To really push things forward. I felt there were times, I remember a moment, a chunk of time where I felt like I was maybe a bit aimless. But that was, I think, the basis that came from a lack of really understanding what the game flow was expecting of me. So it's hard to hold that against it. Now it's fair though, because it's a criticism that can be levied at a game that I experienced, and therefore I went through those tribulations. But the story, the characters, the people we experienced, and the way that their stories progressed, I was always excited to learn more, to figure out more, intrigued by what the next chapter of every person's story was going to be. But I remember hitting a couple roadblocks where I people's stories kind of finished up and I didn't understand what their purpose was anymore.
apology
And if they didn't have a purpose,
remember,
that was fine, but sometimes it was a little
exactly
hard to
5
suss out where in the timeline I need to explore next.
You're not exactly making this easy.
But it was
doing.
I think.
it was the first one of the this might, if you really are unclear of my thoughts on this game, Disco Elysium is one of the most important video games in my life for a number of reasons. Disco Elysium also is one of the only isometric CRPGs. It is the only, was the only isometric CRPG that I ever got through in my life. Baldur's Gate, Torment, Path of Exile. Nope, sorry. Yeah, well, Path of Exile kind of fits. Pillars of Eternity, Divinity, all those games, I fall off immediately. I want to love them, I just can't do it. Disco Elysium was the first that I saw through to the end and enjoyed every second of it. Rue Valley is the second. So, I mean, what other compliment can I pay it, right? Again, that's 8.25 territory. Let's move in to number 8. How are we doing, everybody? We doing all right? How's the list looking? How do you guys like the flow of things? Is it weirdly disjointed? Again, like I said when I started, this is probably one of the most unprepared I've ever felt for a stream. I'm a creature of routine. So my 11 a.m. starting time, I know what to do in order to get ready for 11 a.m. I don't know what to do to get ready for 6 p.m. on a Saturday. So I feel like it's going okay. I don't know. You guys let me know. Be like, you don't ever have to do this again. That'd be fine. All right, moving into number 8. Sorry, let me get cut off on chat here quick. This might be the first game, been the game you were playing when I first saw you streaming it. For Pyro. Oh, yeah. Okay. Nice. I like it when you're just winging it. Just here for a good time. And what are you getting? Are you getting a good time? I'm here for a good time. When does the good time start? I'd be a fan of tossing in OBS a notepad list of games in order that you announce them. Like an on-screen, something for people to reference. You know, I thought about that and I realized, boy, there's 1,000 things that I would have liked to have done for this stream. And then I realized the amount of time it takes to do those things. And I'm like, how about we just kind of wing it? Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Someday I would like to up my production value, but it comes at the cost of other things. I think that's a good idea though. That's something I can implement. That's something given enough time. If you guys enjoy this and you would like to see this again at the end of 2026, I will absolutely make some improvements to it. I will approach it differently. So, could it be more put together? Sure. Do you have a family to tend to? Also, yeah. Well, I mean, they're fine. I don't know. I haven't heard any bloody murder screams or anything. Everybody's fine. Everybody's fine. All right, let's move into number 8. And this is a game that you guys probably heard a lot of when I was playing Wukong. Wait. You guys, do you know what I just realized? I left a game off this list. Oh my God. I'm remedying this right now. Hold on. Not Wukong. Wu Chang. I left Wu Chang off this list. God, I knew it. Oh, damn. Hold on. The good news is That game was awesome, and it's somewhere in here. And let me just find a home for it quick. I think I got it. I think I got it. Guess what, everybody? This is a list of 30 games. We did it. Midstream. Surprise. Spoilers. No, not those. That's not a spoiler. I didn't even know what was happening. I spoiled myself. We are absolutely going to wing it when I get to that one. But we're not getting to that one. Anyways, the game that I talked about all the time when I was playing Wu Chang was obviously the first Berserker, Kazan. Right? This game was neat. God, I can't believe I left that game off the list. Oh my god, I played it forever. Oh, goodness. Anyways, first Berserker Kazan, a very good game with an interesting story and a cool world to explore. The real peak of the game was the combat, though, really satisfying throughout. What a half-assed, piss-poor explanation of a game that I've rated above 21 other games that I gave better details for. I can't be trusted. Goddamn. This game was super awesome. I remember having conflicting thoughts about this game as a quote-unquote Souls-like. Because it does a thing. Yes, the combat is very Souls-like, but I think one of the things that really define a Souls-like, and I think Lone Wolf, we've probably had this conversation as I'm watching the trailer, just staring deeply in its eyes. A Souls-like should have some sort of interconnected world, something that lets you move from point A to point B, and really just get out there and somehow crazily find a way back to where you were before, or some sort of seamless integration between areas. And Kazan doesn't have that. Kazan takes the Wolong? Jeez. Alright. Between Black Myth, Wukong, Wu Chang, and Wolong. I think I got them all straight. Wolong, where they are level-specific areas that do feature Souls-like combat. Checkpoints and things like that, boss fights. But they are level-dependent, right? And that's how Kazan works. Kazan works more like Wolong, more than a Wu Chang. Boy, this is going to be a confusing-ass thing to watch, but anyways. The first Berserker Kazan stuck with me clearly because I know I brought it up at least 20 times while I was playing Wu Chang. I know that because Lone Wolf called me out for it all the time. And that's fine. Because I really liked Wu Chang too. It was a great time to be a gamer. But there's really not a lot of bad things that I could say about my time with Kazan. This is an 8.5, by the way. A number 8 game. So 8.5 is the rating that I gave it. I think the only place that it loses anything is maybe maybe in the Wolong approach. The selecting your level and entering it and then going through it. It's nothing huge, but it's that interconnected world, that thing that's lacking from what is a Souls experience that I think may have held it back a little bit. I'm not saying that the fix for that is making it into a giant interconnected world. I'm not even saying that. I still think that this was the right move for this game, because you had the hub that you would wake up in, and you would do your upgrades and you would do your things, and then you would go back out and adventure again. I think it's a good fit for this. I don't. I said, I guess maybe that's the thing holding it back. You know what? I already nixed that. I already ruled out my own criticism in that regard. Again, it's an 8.5, so there's not a lot to criticize. I enjoyed the combat. I enjoyed the boss fights. I had a good time with it throughout. I guess I can't immediately off the top of my head. That's why I need to be more reliable in 2026 with my notes, clearly, because I'm looking at this. I'm like, this game wasn't a 10. I know it wasn't a 10, but for me to tell you why it wasn't a 10, I don't know. It was good. It was fine. I think there were some mechanics, and not mechanics. There were some like upgrade elements and stuff that I kind of completely just shrugged off, things that didn't need to be there. But again, it's hard to hold that against it. It's just something I chose not to engage with or interact with. So, anyways, we'll move on from Kazan and my lack of explanation for why it is the way it is. And let's move into our next just real big asterisk. This one kept me up at night as we were talking about it. Timmy, I hope you're paying attention. Number 7 on my list is Blueprints. Now you might be asking yourself, why the buildup? What's the problem? Well, I dumped probably 15 to 20 hours into this game, and I had an amazing time.
Represents a world of possibilities.
That's obviously not a negative. I eventually got to the point where I was like, oh, this game has so much going on that I cannot possibly keep up with it. There's so much I just cannot do. I can't go any further. And I had it on my list, and I took it off, and I was like, no, I don't feel qualified to say anything about this game, even though I'd spent that much time in it. And then I started watching Carnage's playthrough and experiencing the game through him. And for the first several episodes, I was like, yep, I remember that. And then it didn't take long before he started unlocking things and seeing things that I was like, what in God's name? What is this game? And I'm still watching it. I'm not only did I not beat the game, I also haven't finished watching him play it. I'm not even close. I still have 100 episodes of his playthrough left. He's on like I think I just watched episode 34 earlier tonight when I was putting some stuff together. And the things he's discovering are blowing my mind. I encourage anybody, if you want to experience Blueprints, by all means experience Blueprints. But if you feel like it's too much for you, watch somebody experience Blueprints. As I'm saying this, like I'm like, this game should be higher. Well, I don't feel good about that because of my experience with it, which was still very solid. Again, it's an 8.5 on my list. Again, as I'm working through what he's playing and stuff, I'm just like, this game it has got so much to it. It's really I felt like I had experienced such a good chunk of it. All I needed to do was just kind of get to the end. The things that Ko is finding, I'm just like, and that's just Carnage. If your favorite creator is in Ko and they played Blueprints, go watch them. This is one of those instances where I'm gonna be like, go watch somebody else. Like, I won't play it on stream. I'm on episode 34. He's already run credits. He's already rolled credits on it. He did that on like episode like 28. There's 140 episodes of this. So he went back and like just dove into it, right? This basically, I'm spending the entire time for Blueprints being like, go watch Cold Carnage's playthrough or just experience the game for yourself. So there you go. I barely scratched. I did, and I didn't even do it on stream. I never played it on stream, right, Timmy? You never saw me play it on stream. I don't think you ever did. Your statements help explain why it's become such a breakout, unexpected hit this year. Yeah. I encourage you. Again, if you haven't experienced the game in any capacity, try it for yourself. See what you can do. See what you can learn. But then watch somebody else experience it for the first time. It's such a fun experience. My favorite content creator won't play it. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Exactly. All right. So yeah, it's my Blueprints. Well, actually, hey, I have words. I have words. I put words down. Hold on. Let me tell you my words. Incredibly impressed by this game, especially as I'm not a puzzle game fan. That's the thing too. I don't like puzzle games. That's not true. I don't get into puzzle games. I like the concept of puzzle games, and then I'm like, everybody's going to think I'm stupid. So I stopped playing them. That said, once I fully understood the depth and complexity of the mysteries surrounding the estate, I simply, for my own self-preservation, I had to nope out. I had a great time. Okay, so here it goes. I spent 25 runs. 25, that's 25 days, in-game days, trying to find my way out. But I learned I had much more of a commitment in front of me, which is probably very exciting for some, but became tedious for me. Watching Cole play gave me a greater appreciation for the game. It really did. Watching him play it gave me so much more appreciation for what that game is. Baba Is You didn't intrigue you? No. Baba is not this guy. I did try that game. Dude, that I had flashbacks to my programming episodes, like back a couple years ago, where I was like, I can't do this. Lone, I hope you do find a resolution for like the camera. It's weird because you play first person games, other first person games, right? It's just weird that Blueprints is the thing that would trigger you. Interesting. Okay. That's Blueprints. Check out Blueprints. These are all, by the way, Blueprints was an 8.5. First Berserker Kazan was an 8.5. The rest of these are hard recommends. If you haven't had a chance to play them, if they're within a genre that you enjoy, these are like, yes, you do this. You play these games. You have to. Obligated. Whatever. Well, maybe not this one. It depends on how nostalgia hits you. We're going to flip over to chat here real quick. We're going to get ready for our number 6 game. We talked about this when I played it. This game hits me so deep in my nostalgia. It's the first RPG that I ever played. And I remember playing it with my mom. And it is Dragon Quest 1 HD 2D. I liked this game so much. Really, really good. 8.5 on my list. Such a joy returning to the first RPG I ever played. Nostalgia is going to play a big role in this. Just know it. Just accept it. There were a couple of things in the menus that made it kind of weird. Like you could tell it was just kind of the menu system was brought over from Dragon Quest 3 because there were things in there that would not make any sense in Dragon Quest 1 as you have a sole party member, but whatever. That's all stuff that can be forgiven. This was such a great reimagining of my first foray into what RPGs are. Like I said, when I played it, this was the game that I played back in the late 80s, early 90s that taught me how to read, like effectively and efficiently. So, yeah, I mean, this game resonates me in a way that very few games ever will. This game could have been garbage and would have started at, 15 on this list. As it stands, it ended up being 6 for the year, but just really good.
To your forebear many moons ago.
Mermaids! Real mermaids!
One thing I always enjoyed about the X-Play ranking system was that they had a play if you like the genre and don't care if you like the genre, the game is too good not to play. Oh, that's kind of good.
Us on our long journey.
I can't wait to remind you about the games. Yes, Lone Wolf, I hope you have a list because I do want to be reminded of
Are we
them.
not heroes destined to save the world?
Mainly because I want to make sure that I have them on my list. I know that there's games that I'm missing. My list feels pretty thorough to my tastes, but I'm excited.
We forswear. We shall not fall.
Oops. And my numbering is goofed up since I had to make some changes here. There it is. Officially 30 games. I was a liar. So, I'm sorry. Technically, Dragon Quest was not number 6. Dragon Quest was number 7. We really messed things up here.
October 30.
Which is a good time to rehash. Let's rehash some things. Number 30, Dreamcore. Number 29, Post Trauma. Number 28, Sleep Awake. Number 27, Centum. Number 26, Awita, Journey of Hope. 25, Spindle. 24, Guns of Fury. 23, Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3. 22, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. 21, AI Limit. 20, Doom the Dark Ages. Number 19, Routine. Number 18, Still Wakes the Deep, Siren's Rest DLC. 17, Chronos the New Dawn. 16, Silent Hill F. 15, Hell Is Us. 14, Kingdoms of the Dump. 13, Dreamed Away. 12, Karma, The Dark World. 11, Mafia, The Old Country. 10, Rue Valley. 9, The First Berserker Kazan. 8, Blueprints. 7, Dragon Quest 1. There you go. Reminder the beer was 9%. Shut up, Kate. We got it all sorted. Let's move on to number 6. It was 9% beer. It was. Number 6. Number 6 is a new IP that came out this year. And it was a game that I gave an 8.5 to. The final of our 8.5s. We move up from here. Which, I don't know. I wish I wouldn't have said that because I'm like, oh, well, it's going to really affect the feelings on South of Midnight. No, this game's awesome. South of Midnight. Oh, sorry. Hold on. We got to flip over. Bloop. A really great experience. The voice acting and writing was top-notch. The stories were incredibly affecting. Some sequences involving the chases got a bit tiresome. Don't even remember those now. And the combat was effective, but nothing special. But a really good step up from We Happy Few. Weird that I compared it to its previous game, We Happy Few. I didn't like We Happy Few at all, so don't know why I did that, but South of Midnight was dope. South of Midnight was really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. As I said, though, like, I didn't think the combat was anything special, but it was also kind of separate in its own its own little part of the game. If I recall correctly, I feel like all of the combat was tied. It was required, but it was tied to these little like combat arenas, which you had to get through to continue exploring. But it wasn't. It wasn't. Again, the combat isn't even really that much to its detriment. It's passable. It's fine, but it still was. It was separate from the rest of the game in a way that wasn't off-putting. But I loved exploring this the southern. I don't want to say South American. Obviously not right. but like the southern mythos that exists within America. And it was, I know for that reason that it hit especially hard for people that are already familiar with some of this mythology. A lot of this was brand new to me. It was all really fun. It almost had like a God of War like appeal, where it's discovering the mythology in fun and interesting ways, and some of those stories were, like I said, in the writing, it was really affecting and it just meaningful. Lone Wolf, you're exactly who I'm thinking of. Lots of stories from my childhood in this. That's cool, and that and that even carried through. What were we playing? We were just playing something too that there was a lot of God, we were just talking about it. We were just playing something or talking about something that like things that you were so like intimately aware of that I'd never heard of, and I guess I'm blanking on what those were, but going back to no damage, the bosses suck though. Yeah. Did you get the like, did you, is this one of the games that you platinumed or 1,000 pointed, whatever, trophy hunted, achievement hunted, whatever you do with your life? I don't know who you are. While you're answering that, let me get ready for number 5. Number 5 is actually the most recent game we've completed on the channel. I am talking, of course, of Constance. Okay, I had to click twice. It's one of the 100% you got this year. Nice. Nice. This game was so good. It really was. I'm a little surprised that it ended up here at number 5, 8.75. But when I was going back and thinking, like, what didn't I love about it? Well, let me. These are fresh thoughts. These are fresh thoughts from just a couple of days ago. A Metroidvania with a hand-drawn eye, a really tight control scheme, and an affecting story told through progression-locked vignettes that are each experienced using different gameplay mechanics. I didn't quite 100% it. But if I had a bit more time on stream, I might have. The only drawback were that some of the navigation became tedious, especially when cleaning things up. So if anybody wants to make a Metroidvania that speaks specifically to me, you make sure that I can clean it up in a way that makes sense. That's the only thing holding these games back. Constance, I was thinking about, we almost started the stream. Remember we were talking on Thursday. Thursday. We were talking on Thursday. I'm like, well, I guess it would have been Wednesday. If I do this stream, I might start with Constance to see if we can 100% it. Well, that didn't happen. And I'm okay with it. Clean it up in a way that makes sense. Is that what I wrote? Hold on. Did I say that out loud? Well, I was thinking about 100%ing it. And then I think it was Wednesday, we were doing some of the cleanup, and we did some of the milkshake things, and they were super challenging. But again, not like Shinobi. The milkshake challenges are what I was talking about specifically earlier when we were talking about Shinobi. Those challenges, every time I messed up, I was like, that's on me. I goofed up. The thing about Constance is that game never felt unfair to me. That game always felt like everything that I wanted to accomplish, I could. There was not a challenge that I couldn't succeed at. There was challenges that like were super duper hard, and I had to like really like get through. But every mistake I made, I knew I made it. Whereas, like I said, Shinobi, some of the platforming just felt loose. It felt like it wasn't as tight as it needed to be. So the only thing holding them back is your approval. Wait, hold on. I think I lost something. You did a 100 W cent just to steal a little something from Co. There you go. Nice. I did, yeah. Well, and then I found out I did the 2 or 3 milkshake challenges that I did. They didn't actually contribute to the 100% thing in the end. So I was like, well, all right, that's good enough. Yeah, I was fine with where I was at for the game. But again, the thing that holds Constance back is, you know what? I'm going to hold off. I'm going to talk about it. There's a game coming up that does something that I think every Metroidvania should do, but we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We're not going to talk about it right now. Let's instead move on to number 4. Number 4. A game that I apparently completely forgot to factor in in any meaningful way to my entire year of gaming. We're talking about Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. I can't believe I forgot to add this to the list. It's one of the longest games I've played all year.
The unending cycle of cause and effect.
This is such a solid Souls-like. Such a solid Souls-like. It's so good. So good throughout. By the way, Constance was at 875. Wu Chang, I just instinctively a second ago decided 9. that's where it landed, I guess. But I had such a good time. This one was almost your game of the year, right? Yeah, there was a good chunk of time where I was like, boy, this might be my game of the year. Obviously it fell down to 4. But it this is another game like let's see. Another game like Routine? Hold on. Yes. This is a game that deserves the same first line as Routine. This was a really good game that I never would have made it through without chat. Some of these boss fights, you specifically, I'm glad you popped up when you did. They were hard. God, they were hard. This game was tough as nails, up there as one of the harder Souls-likes I've played. Some of these boss fights were absolutely brutal. He sucked too. But the environments, the areas, again, if you throw some sort of, crazy mythology at me, give me some unbelievable environments to wander around in a Souls-like with Souls-like gameplay, I'm sorry. You've ticked my boxes. You're right up there with a Metroidvania with a good map and its sweet backtracking and cleanup system. That's just how it is. You got me, 100%. Yeah, it's I don't know. I just wrote down so good. I just did it 20 minutes ago because I realized I left Wu Chang off the list. But yeah, any Souls-like fan, this has got to be one of the games on your list that you need to check out and play. There's just no reason not to. I almost whiffed on it entirely. I was almost not going to play it, which I say for Souls games. I don't know why it is, but I say that more often than not. For Souls-like games, I don't know what it is. Something that keeps me from trying. I require more convincing for some reason. First Berserker Kazan, I required more convincing. I needed to jump in and make myself do it because I didn't feel super excited. Wu Chang, I needed to jump in and do it because I didn't feel super excited about it in the beginning. Black Myth Wukong last year, I just had to get in and try it. Stellar Blade is another one. I almost completely nixed playing that game entirely, but it's one of my favorite games now. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's tough. I don't know why I hold myself back, because when I'm in there, I'm having a great time. Yeah, that'll happen. 30-4 after 20 minutes of thinking is wild? What does that mean? I need you to explain that to me. I don't know. I don't know what just happened, Timmy. You just blew my mind. All right. I'm going to switch over to chat. Here we go. This one is something. This one, I'm gonna say that a healthy number of people in this chat have never heard of this game. Even though I played it on the stream, you've forgotten about it. This is a game that spent a weird chunk of this year as number 1 on my list. Oh, gotcha. It wasn't 30 on my list. It was non-existent. I see what you're saying. I got it. I understand. Anyways, we're going to go to my favorite Metroidvania of the year. And I'm going to sit here for a second. I just want to see. Chat, if I give you a minute here, will you guess what my favorite Metroidvania of the year is? I'm just curious. This is for me. This is for me now. Just wondering, what do you think it might be? This is the kind of opinion, this is the kind of thought, by the way, that gets me canceled as a creator. It's not Silksong. Jack says Guns of Fury. Guns of Fury. Jack, fair guess. Guns of Fury was my number 24. I'm going to give it another 10 seconds for people to guess. Dude, I don't even know if I can find a trailer for this thing. Oops. I could if I spelled it right. And not spelled it completely like a very different popular property. I bought Time Spinner this year, so I'll go with that. Time Spinner's dope. Are you excited for Time Spinner too? That game's going to be awesome. Crypt Custodian, but that was from 2024? All right, that's fair. This is a game... Oh, you know what? I don't know if I played it on stream. And I'm gonna be honest with you too. This feels high, but it does something that every Metroidvania needs to do. This is a game called Blade Chimera. Blade Chimera. Oh, Lone Wolf's cheating. He's going through all my old stuff. So, Blade Chimera does a thing that earns it so many bonus points. It's ridiculous. So, when you unlock it, Blade Chimera gives you the ability to warp wherever you want, whenever you want. Any space on the map you can warp to. Which feels like it should break the experience in a way that's like not fun. But let me again, I played this back in February, okay? I think it was February. It was before I was streaming. So yeah, no, I definitely didn't play this. This removes all of the backtracking, all of the complaints that I've had about the other Metroidvanias on this list. It removes those entirely. Oh, really? Oh, What are they, Lone? Now you've got me intrigued. What are they? I try my best to make sure that I go back and fill things out. I might have. I don't know. We'll see. The art looks great. The controls are solid. The bosses ramp up in difficulty near the end, but if I have a complaint, it's the overall game might have been just a bit too easy. So apparently this game might have been a bit too easy in the end. But I can't explain to you how freeing it was to unlock that ability to warp to any space on the map at any time. So we're just going to forget about Suikoden. Dead Letter Department, shoot, I was going to check on that. Suikoden, I'm not going to include. Suikoden, I'm not going to include because I did not play it far enough in. I dropped it early. But I've had regrets about that throughout the year. So Suikoden does not get a place on this list, but it will get a second chance later. Dead Letter Department, I shit you not, it came up on a podcast a couple of days ago where I was like, I don't think that's on my list. And I played it all the way through. You're right. I whiffed on Dead Letter Department. Shoot. Dang it. Does Warp Anywhere work during boss fights? No, it doesn't work during boss fights. Hey, actually, I don't know. It's been a minute. I can't actually say definitively that it doesn't. I have no idea. Yeah. I don't know if it does or not. Fair question. You have 15 episodes of Suikoden that are 30 to 60 minutes long. I know. Well, and that's only 7 hours of gameplay, though. 7 to 15. 30 to 60? I was doing 30 to 60 minute episodes? Jeez. All right, we'll say that's 10 hours. That's a probably 30 to 40 hour game, though. I didn't feel qualified. I didn't feel justified. That felt like, nah. I mean, obviously I didn't love it. Right? Obviously I didn't love it. But Suikoden might have been a time and space kind of a thing. Something that like, it's not vibing with me right now. And I don't want to go live with this. I don't want to play this right now. Suikoden stays off. Dead Letter Department. Oh man, you're right. Dead Letter Department deserves a home here. Man, it's been so long though. I don't know. I have to do like a weird, goofy ass honorable mention. Dead Letter Department. If I were to put it somewhere off the top of my head, I put Dead Letter Department probably between Shinobi Art of Vengeance and Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3. My 22, 23 range. But that's months in yeah, that feels gross. I don't know. I don't feel good about it. But Dead Letter Department dropped in 2025. But I played it later than that, though, right? I played that on stream. Pixel Art Prison Game didn't make the list either. That's another one that I bailed on and decided that I didn't have enough. I didn't feel strong enough to formulate a good opinion of. I really only spent a stream and a half with that. Was it 2 streams? And I barely scratched the surface of the game. So I will say that game over time, that was not a C-dub game. I mean, if we're being honest, that game probably ends up being, I forgot what it was called. What was it called? Oh yeah. Also, those are older games. Pixel or non-pixel? It's non-pixel, but it's like retro aesthetic still. Yeah, it's the best games of 2025. Best games of 2025 that released in 2025. I played other games that released. Back to the Dawn, yes. Yeah, that game. That wasn't a 2025 game? Either way, I don't feel qualified casting judgment on it. I decided it wasn't really my jam, so that was it about. That's what it was about. Now you're confused. Oh, no. Yeah. So I only do this for the 2025 releases. And Timmy, that's a fair point. One thing I was going to share, I know we got 2 games left, and we're going to get to them. I think I said everything I needed to say about Blade Chimera, by the way. Blade Chimera, great Metroidvania. Do check it out. Gameplay-wise, it may not be as solid as, say, a Constance. But like, it's still very good. But again, that mechanic to be able to like just, there was never a dull point in that game. Never a lull. Not a single lull. Always good. Okay, good to know. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I think I did take that into consideration as well, Lone. Yeah, so games in 2025 that I also played in 2025. So what I'm going to do, by the way, I was going to announce this before, and I guess last 2 games is the best time to do this. Going forward, I have a cadence that I've been sticking to. One of my days is the newest game that released that I'm playing, and then I have a backlog game, right? The backlog has known no limit year-wise. That's why I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei 5 right now. That was my backlog game, right? I think what I'm going to do in 2026 is stick to that. But what I'm going to do is my I'll have 2 games. One game will be the most recent release based on my schedule as it opens up. I'm not going to stop games halfway through to jump into something new. I don't like to do that. I don't want to leave things half finished unless I'm like actively against the game, right? So the newest release of 2026 that I have an interest in is Code Violet. Whether it's a good interest, we'll see. Okay? You just said 2026. I know. It's been 2026 for 10 days. I'm sorry. We need to move on. So Code Violet is going to be the game that takes the place of Constance. Now, we'll keep playing through Shin Megami Tensei 5. When I finish Shin Megami Tensei 5, whenever that happens, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a backlog game that's still released in 2026. If there aren't any, then it's open game. Fair game, I'll choose whatever. If there's only one game that is released in 2026 that I have an interest in, then that's the game I'm going to play. I'm going to try to spend this year focusing solely on 2026 games, unless I have an opportunity to jump back and check out some older stuff. It's difficult for me as somebody who wants to make sure that my content covers the things that I enjoy. It still needs to entice an audience that is always moving forward, that is always looking for the latest thing, right? I'm not saying that this will fix that. It won't fix that, because there will be a time in October of 2026 when I'm streaming my backlog game that is from February that people won't care about anymore, right? At that point, I'm doing that because I had a genuine interest in the game. I never got to it, but I can contribute it to this situation that we're doing right now, this best of 2026 list. I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to take a more modern approach, try to stick within 2026, and we'll venture out if there's nothing there. There's going to be nothing there for a little bit, but that's not going to last long. So games from 2025, 2024, they're not going to get forgotten. They're going to be games that I play on my own. They're going to be games that I play off stream when I have time. But there are games that probably won't end up on stream, just given the circumstances. I've been thinking about that for a while, and that's what I've landed on. I just wasn't really sure when to bring it up. Now it felt good. Anyways, we have 2 games left. Let's talk about game number 2. Flip over to chat. Game number 2 is another game I did not play on stream, but I consider it better than its predecessor, which, let me just check my digits here real quick. Oh, weird. Okay. Its predecessor finished number 2 in my best of 2020 list. Yeah, it's weird that I just happen to have that available, but listen, I said I live on spreadsheets. I mean, I live on spreadsheets. All I had to do was click on a different tab. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It is a game destined forever to be number 2 on my best of the year list, and that is Ghost of Yote. That is a game that I played offline, played on my own. This is one of the best looking games I've ever seen. It's the exact same, whatever I said for the 2020 version of this thing, I could probably say verbatim for this game. One of the best looking games I've ever played. Awesome story, great characters, amazing acting. There are times where the combat was amazing. This might be a me thing. For those of you that have played Ghost of Yote, do you love the combat? I'm curious. The combat is good at times, and at times it drives me up a wall. I can get through it, and in the end, it doesn't deflect that much from my overall experience. But there's something that just doesn't feel right about the Ghost of fill in the blank combat. Tsushima or Yote. Both instances of this. I realize I'm sounding very negative on what is my number 2 game of the year. But it doesn't feel good at times. At times it feels just real bad. Thankfully, that's not typically during boss fights. It's only when you're dealing with swarms. When you're dealing with a lot of enemies at one time. And they implemented a lock-on mechanic in this game that I don't think Tsushima had. But it doesn't feel good to use. It doesn't. I don't know what it is. They did it in a way that just doesn't feel right. But again, I'm gonna get the negative out of the way. Everything else about this game was spectacular. Visuals are better than I've seen in a game ever. The combat, when it's not annoying me, is actually, it's very satisfying. That's the thing. The combat is not a constant detriment. It's just a detriment when it doesn't work right. And there are times where it just doesn't work right. But the rest of the time, it is serviceable to very, very good. That is why I gave this a 9.25. 9.25 is where we're at for Ghost of Yote. I didn't 100% it. But I got damn close. And I haven't gone back and done the DLC. The DLC. Yeah, Kate, what's that list look like? I'm curious. You have started Dave the Diver as you fight through the rest of Elden Ring. It's Elden Ring and Dave the Diver. What's your number 1? What's your number 2? Ghost of Yote. Sorry, now you've screwed me up. Ghost of Yote is good. Now it's going to get the same criticism, I think, that Ghost of Tsushima did. I remember there was a certain creator that I would go into their chat. I don't go to their chat anymore. Not because I'm mad at them or anything. I just decided their content isn't for me. But I would go into their chat, and I would be crucified because of my strong opinion of Ghost of Tsushima and how good it was. And And I remember that. And it always bothered me. It always made me so mad. Because Ghost of Tsushima was a marvel on game, among games. Whether you found it interesting or engaging to your specific likes, that game did some pretty amazing stuff. Do you know who that is, Lone? I'd be curious. Throw it in chat. I want to know. Just go ahead and say it. That's fine. You also don't go to the chat anymore? Yeah. Yeah. A lot of negativity that I put up with for too long. Anyways. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep. I would that's in a but there's plenty of people that felt that way about Ghost of Tsushima. Just the correlation to an Assassin's Creed game that I will never follow. Now, I will say over time, Ghost of Tsushima, the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, well, maybe it's not as deserving. In fact, if I go back to my Game of the Year 2020 list, I had Hades as number 1, Ghost of Tsushima. I did have, okay, if I had to rethink this, Ghost of Tsushima probably drops down my list a little bit. I had Ghost of Tsushima as number 2, Last of Us Part 2 is number 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake is number 4. I don't know. And then Doom Eternal is number 5. I might put all 3 of those ahead of Ghost of Tsushima in hindsight. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to put myself back 5 years ago. That's a long time ago. But there's just no arguing the fact that, like, that game, and I know we're talking about Ghost of Yote now, but, like, that game and its cinematics and its graphical approach to things, like, unbelievable. Some people really like Jin. Some people hate Jin. I thought Jin was fine. I don't know. We're not talking about Ghost of Tsushima, though. Ghost of Yote, I think, improved upon a lot of the elements that Ghost of Tsushima may have struggled with. But again, as number 2 on my list, I still think that I like it more than most people ended up caring for it. I don't know what that's about, but 5 years ago, coming out of a pandemic, yes, put yourself right back there. Good point. The person prides themselves. Yes, he does. He does. Yes. And I haven't been back to see him since then. Since I've been back. Yeah. I don't know. You guys are probably in chat a couple times that I'd popped in there, and I was just like, that was what I was known for in his channel, and I did not like that. I just really didn't like that. It's one of the few things on Twitch that have really, like, just gnawed at me over the years. But whatever. Anyways, let's talk about our number 1 game of the year. I wonder, someone mentioned Final Fantasy 13. Hey, Freckles. Freckles coming in for the most important part, obviously. Oh, I didn't switch over to my chatting. I ruined my number 1. It's clear obscure. Who didn't see that coming? Sorry, Timmy. This is a disappointment to you. You hate everything about my life. Oh, you're still a mod on his channel? Oh my god.
Soon she'll wake.
Oh man. What a special game.
Painting.
This one I ended up giving a 9.5. Incredibly well realized game, sensational throughout. I never interacted much with the QuickTime events offensively. Oh yeah, that's right. I think I did turn the combat. Oh, I don't remember the specific setting you can do, but I did make the combat a little bit easier just because I had a hard time with the timing on that stuff.
Destroy the paintress. so she can never paint death again. We'll break the cycle so she can't steal.
I can't wait to see what Sandfall does next.
This world is
I can't.
full of wonders.
Yet everywhere we go,
Whatever they learned from Clair Obscur,
Do you mean with
other
no
than
one's left?
they're the best. I mean, whatever else there is to learn beyond that, I can't wait to take the lessons they learned from this game, apply it to the next game, whether it's a Expedition 34. No, I don't. I mean, I don't know. I hope it's a completely different thing. But I don't know. I mean, I can't wait to see it. I did not play the DLC. Freckles being here is the most important part. That's right. He snuck in right before the end. This was going to be a bust. I was going to burn the footage of this. I don't know how you do that digitally, but I was going to find a way.
We lay the trail for those who will come after.
Timmy's losing his streak on purpose on Monday. That's okay. That's okay. Kate's been, Kate's been pining for number 1 for a while.
Expedition 33.
He still calls me a gotcha gamer because I played Genshin for a couple hours a couple years ago. Wow. Yeah, he picks on some things that just, yeah, that's fine. I guess I don't need to be live talking shit about another creator, but. I haven't played the DLC yet. No. I should. You'll probably hate it. It's difficult. Here's the thing that kills me a little bit about Clair Obscur. Having it number 1 on my list. I loved it so much, but I stopped. I finished it. I beat it. I completed the game. I saw credits, but then I stopped. And I felt this weird push. This weird pressure to, if I liked something, then I should experience all of it. And it's led to this like thought of like, what is gaming? How do you know you love something? Does it mean that you have to take in 100% of everything it offers? And I don't mean 100% of like you reach an imaginary checkpoint and that is it. And you get your platinum trophy. You get your 100% achievements. That's not what I mean. What I mean is like, is enough okay for you? When the ending goes, are you going to be okay? Like, when they announced the DLC, I was like, awesome, that sounds great. But not once, I didn't feel any inclination to go back and experience it. And I don't know, it makes me feel weird. Like, it makes me feel like, well, why don't I do that? Like, why do I not care so much? What is that cough?
A bad cough?
Yeah. Say hi, Jack.
Hi.
No, I said say hi, Jack. Say hi, Jack. Say hi, Jack.
It's fine. Dad, I'm going to bed.
He's not very good at following instructions. We're working on it. All right. Go to bed. Go. Yes, I'll be right there. I'm wrapping up here in just a little bit. But yeah, that's the DLC launch, I'm sorry. They talked about it at the Game Awards and they released it, and I just have felt no inclination to go back. And I'm not sure why. I think I'm good. With Clair Obscur. I'm happy with where it all left off. I don't know what it has to offer, but it's like, I see that, and I have that stupid conversation with myself where I'm like, well, am I even a fan then? Does Clair Obscur deserve the number 1 spot game of the year? I'm like, well, yeah, I think so. Like, I don't know. This whole like industry is it makes me wonder sometimes. Gaming is a fast-moving hobby. You moved on. Too many people get caught up on games having infinite replayability and player counts and shit. Yeah. You feel satisfied, fulfilled with the time you put into it and experience you had. Yeah. And that should be fine. Right? That should be fine. And I'm not like insecure about it. Like I feel fine. Do I wonder what's going on in that DLC? Yes. But do I also wonder what's going on at everything after the credits? Yes. Am I going to do it? Probably not, cuz like if I go back and I spend all my time with every DLC that comes out, which there are some, obviously I had a DLC on the list, Still Wakes the Deep, which is a weird DLC to have on this list in the grand scheme of things. I don't know how that happened, but whatever. Going back to a known quantity, even if it had a tremendous impact on me, it does keep me from experiencing something new. Who's to say that if I would have decided like, okay, I need to jump into Clair Obscur Expedition 33, who's to say that I ever would have stepped foot into Hell Is Us then? And experienced a completely different, a completely separate experience, something that plays completely differently, but something that I'm enjoying. Am I enjoying it to the scope of what I enjoyed Clair Obscur? No. But I'm still very happy to be experiencing it. It's like I need to set my own limits for when a game ends. I'm still mad at myself. I haven't played Sea of Stars DLC. I haven't played the Chained Echoes DLC. Those are two of my favorite games of the last 4 years. I don't know if I'll ever get to them. Maybe. But anyways, thank you guys for being with me tonight. Hanging out on a Saturday evening after 9 o'clock. Jeez. We're up with the college kids. Who wants to do a beer bong? I'm going to have a regular beer. But I will see you guys on Monday for some more Shin Megami Tensei. And then Tuesday, let's put a hard asterisk on Code Violet. I'm gonna look into some things. Let's just make sure I'm not walking into a trap. It is past my bedtime. It's true. Wrap things up. Ignoring Dead Letter Department, Pixel Games had an average placement of 16. This is important. Everybody listen up. Pyro's done the science here. Pixel Games had an average placement of 16, a medium of 14, and 7 total games. Non-Pixel had an average of 15.3, son of a bitch. Medium of 16, that's worse, and a count of 23 total games. Adding in Dead Letter Department at 23, which you indicated earlier, changes the average to 16.4 for Pixel, 15.9 for non-Pixel. Yep, there we go. It was median. I said it right. Who's drunk? Not me, by the way. I'm fine. There you go. So I am pixel. It would be weird to start 2026 off anything with anything that isn't pixely, but hey, listen. 2026 is going to be freaking awesome. There's so many things. I don't have like specific dates and stuff, but I'm just looking at my list of games to play here in the next little bit, and it's looking good. It's looking good. We're eating good, everybody. Okay? We have some 2025 games we're going to dice in. Like I said, I don't know what we're going to come back to for 2025, if we're going to get back to a lot of these things. But a lot of these things I'm still going to play in the background, even if it's not on stream. So I'll keep you guys updated on the things that I jump into that are not on stream. But we'll see. We got some exciting stuff ahead. So I'm going to get you guys out of here. I'm not going to do a raid or anything. We're just going to shut her down and call her good. Have a great rest of your weekend. Again, thank you for hanging out with me on this Saturday night where the entire house just woke up. What the hell was that? Okay. Kate dropped a pan, and it was the loudest pan, and it was a pan full of other pans and cymbals, and the whole world just died in the kitchen. All right. I'm going to get going. Thank you guys. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.